Alright, in this demonstration we're going to teach you how to change colors of objects, and this is a really quick and dirty way to do it. So what you want to do is open up this Photoshop file, color change starter, and here it is. So I have two layers here. I have one layer that's just this yellow color, and that's the color that I'm going to use to change the sofa. And then I have another layer that was predominantly a bluish background, and then we're going to make this blue couch a yellow couch and try to make it seamless like if it was always a yellow couch. So the first thing first is we have to select a couch, and again, Photoshop's pretty amazing. You're going to go to this quick selection tool. Let's just zoom in and let's start. Oops, I have to be on the layer that I want to select, and I'm going to just start highlighting the couch. And again, Photoshop does a pretty darn good job of figuring out what I want. And you can see that it selected all of this gray throw blanket and some of the legs. So now I'm going to come in here, hold down the Alt button, and take away some of those legs. I'm holding down the Alt and scrolling out, and then Alt again to take away some of this gray throw. And I'm just kind of clicking on the area, and Photoshop again is kind of figuring out what I want to get rid of. Of course, I'm holding down the Alt button at this point. Coming closer here, kind of come in here and trying to clean it up. I took away two, oh yeah, I got to take away here. And here I took away too much of the gray, so right now I'm in the edit mode if I'm not holding down the Alt button. So come in here, and right, like Photoshop's a little confused. I'm going to reduce my brush maybe and kind of go finer. Add this part in. You know what? I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take away like that. Alright, so that selection's pretty good. Take away this part. I'm still in the lasso tool now. I'm kind of using multiple selection tools to take away that part. And again, I'm in the subtractive mode, guys. I want to add some of this, so that I'm going to go to my add, or the shortcut key would have been shift. So, but I'm already in the add mode here. So I'm just going to do my best to select, you know, as clean as I can the couch. And for this example, I'm okay with that. And I think I'm good. So now that I have my couch selected, I want to create a clipping mask. But in this case now, I want to be very selective in how I edit this thing. So I want to do multiple filters on this. I want to not only change the hue saturation, but I also want to be able to change the lightness of it, or else it's going to look pretty bad. So just kind of pay attention and try to do it the same way, and then eventually you'll figure out how to do this. So I'm going to first create a group. So layer group right on top of my background. And the reason for that is I want to be able to isolate my basic mask, and then using the one mask be able to add multiple filters to it. So inside this group, I'm going to hit this button here, which is to create a mask with my selection. So I hit mask, and now I have this group, and then the white part is the blue couch and the black part is that. So whatever I do will only affect the white part, which in fact would be just that. So now I have this group selected. I can do a layer effect here. So I'm going to say I'm going to fill it with a solid color, and that solid color right now is black. But if I just put my cursor outside of this box, it turns into this eye picker. So I'm going to pick this yellow, and it picks that identical yellow. So I'm going to say, Okay, so now it doesn't look like much. It's basically taken my mask and filled the white area with this yellow color. What I want to do is I want to bring the characteristics of the sofa that's behind it and kind of blend it with the yellow. So what I'm going to say is that on this yellow color fill, I want you to blend that with the layer below it. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say hue. Hue simply means replace the blue color with the yellow color, and that's not too bad. And then saturation means take the brightness or the intensity of that yellow and make that color equally intense. But you can see that it doesn't turn really yellow because hue is the color, saturation is really intensity. But if I take the third option, color, it'll actually mix both hue and saturation at the same time. So if I go here, okay, so again hue, and then color takes the intensity of that and kind of blends it. So it's slightly more, I guess, sophisticated, for the lack of a better word, than just changing the hue, right? But now what we want to do is we want to make it even more intense. We want to take this, and this yellow is pretty darn bright, so we want to bring some of this light and overall make it lighter. And so what we want to do is within this, so again, this has a layer within that folder or the group of layer. We put this filter onto that mask. So we're going to put another filter, which is called levels, and levels only controls brightness and contrast or light. And because we don't want the levels acting first, because then that'll only change the blue. So I'm going to bring the color fill above it and then bring the levels below it. And if I scroll down here on this property, I can make it brighter, the whole thing. So obviously this blows it all out, so you got to be careful. So you can take some of the darkness out by saying make the 100%, or like take the 100% black and make it only 90%. And you could also change the white balance up here. And so just by kind of eyeballing certain things, you could definitely change the characteristics of that sofa. So again, if I take that off, you can see it's pretty dark because the sofa was dark. So we needed to bring some lightness in because we want to make it a lighter color. So I have to put this levels and to control the lightness independent of the hue saturation, which is the color. Now I can come back in here and say, oh wow, my selection is pretty bad here. I can come back to my mask and I want to make it white, right? The white, no, I'm sorry, black. The black will cover that. So I'm going to go to my brush and reduce the size of my brush and darken that part in. Take away some of this, make that all black. And I'm going to be kind of not so clean here, but you guys can try to figure out how to do a better job. But basically I'm painting it black so that my yellow color on the mask doesn't bleed into my throw here. Okay, and obviously like I said before, the better your selection, the better your photo editing is going to be. So there you go. It's close enough. I can see a little fuzz there, but it's okay. It's good for this demo. So anyhow, that's how you quickly change colors with another color. This is probably, yeah, I probably want this a little bit darker. So I'm going to go back to my levels here. Come back. Maybe pull that back just a little bit. Anyhow, that's how you do that. So a real quick color change. So if you wanted to make this red, you can make it red by just simply clicking here and then pick a red color. Right? So now you're basically changing the color, base color, and then this level is obviously keeping the same level slider that I did in the previous yellow color. So anyhow, that's how you can kind of change colors, and I will see you on the next video.